50% of these songs is BeatStars and YouTube, bro. The unlimited license, and that's that. And if one of these songs that I bought the unlimited license kind of go crazy, we doing stupid numbers, 50 million. All right, producer, let's talk and let's figure out.
Peace, what's going down? It's the Music Entrepreneur Club. I'm joined by Dame Ritter and the new improved Aaron, who just happens to take the human form of Katori Walker. Her energy has kind of transmuted into a rapper from Burbank, California.
Pasadena,
which is cool.
Pasadena.
Oh my God, my bad, Pasadena. See, I'm already messing up. How's everyone feeling this morning? Me, I'm clearly scattered because I woke up too early, but the rest of you seem more refreshed than I am.
Dope. Yeah, so I'm gonna give Katori an opportunity to give a little bit of his background, but he's been on my radar for a few years now. I actually tried to get him on the last 1 week notice project, but he was signed at the time, and having a signed artist on a 1 week notice project presents a lot of complications that maybe we'll talk about in this interview.
I got questions. If you said he was signed at the time, I want to know what happened between then and now. And we talk about our label stories all the time. It'd just be cool to hear it from a rapper's perspective.
For sure. But before we jump into that, Katori, man, just give a little background about yourself, how long you've been making music, and any other tidbits you want to share with the community.
Katori Walker, from Pasadena, California, born and raised in Pasadena. I've been making music since I was 9 years old. My dad is a producer and a DJ, and I just was under his armpit. Like, I just wanted to be where he was. And I started off kind of like producing first, like the MPC 2000, the Trinity, the MoFat, like when floppy disk was a thing. Like, that's when I started producing. And I just kind of took a liking to it after that, and just seeing what music could do and how you can literally like move the needle with music, and like how music was incorporated and everything. Like, I was young when I realized, like, there's music on elevators, there's music in McDonald's, there's music in commercials, there's music in movies, there's music on TV. It's like music is everywhere. Like, this is just gigantic lane. And I'm like, yo, I want to be a part of that. And at the time, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go because I was still producing at the time. And I just want to be a part of this thing. This thing makes me feel something. And to know what you want to do at a young age, like, no cap, I was like 12 years old. Like, this is what I'm doing. Like, so. And then I grow up, I get a little bit older. I'm in high school now. I'm playing sports and football, baseball, and track. But this music thing is what I'm running home to do. I'm not hanging out with friends. I'm not partying. I'm in the studio. Like, my dad had his own studio. He had like converted our garage into a studio. And like, that's what I did. And then I remember I would just be rapping to my homies and showing them my beats and stuff. And I'm like, yo, this is dope. This is crazy. And I had an opportunity to go to the Army. And I asked them, like, yo, like, is there any like type of musical like thing in this? Because, I didn't want to pay for college. I didn't have the best grade. So, like, is there any type of musical thing? And like, they was like, nah, we don't really have music programs and other stuff like that. It's kind of like skill-based things. And I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I took the test and everything. I was ready to go. Like, I was gonna be out of here. And when I seen that like this music thing wasn't a part of, like, the Army didn't have a music like thing integrated in it, I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, cool. So then I ended up going to PCC, going to college, and then just like after that, it's just like music all day, every day since like 19 years old, bro. Like nonstop,
When did you start seeing a little bit of traction? What were you doing?
The first traction was when like early 2010 when when Tumblr came out. Me and my homies, we had like a collective. It was called Elephant in the Room. And the homies figured out like Tumblr doesn't have an algorithm and it doesn't have like a cap. So you can just keep like spamming as much people as possible. Like, just keep going crazy. And I dropped my first project called, what was the first name of that project? Damn, I forgot. Oh, Product of Poverty. Right. I dropped that. And I remember like the biggest thing for me is like, yo, I need 1,000 downloads. This is when Dat Piff was like on top of the world. And I never got to that 1,000. So it was like that like hunger fed me. So I just started like making hella music, like nonstop, but I wasn't releasing it. And then my brother ends up passing in 2017, January 6th, 2017. And I made a song and an EP about his death. He was murdered, like some gang violence type shit. So
damn.
In that EP, is what like changed my life for real. That was like the real traction. So I'm not sure if both of y'all seen the video of like me laying on the ground with like blood coming out my mouth.
I remember that. I remember that video for sure. Yeah.
So I had that video and I sat on it for a couple of months and I didn't think it was that great because it was like simple stuff. Like that was Kool-Aid in my mouth. I shot that with my camera on the floor. Me and a homie, Kaz from London, he was like, yo, we just got to shock people with it. And I was like, yeah, but I don't think it's good. It's not a full video. It's one scene. It's one angle. You know what I'm saying? And then I drop it and it instantly just goes crazy. Like people like Mozzie and Shaq and Michael Rappaport and Lloyd Banks, this is the 2017. You didn't have like reposts. You had to copy the video and put it on your actual page. So we got it there. And then at that moment, every label you can think of, like every label to the point to where it was a bidding war. Like this person is trying to outbid this person to give me the sign, and this person's trying to outbid to where the bag just went crazy, you know? So
it was really just the one video that, because I think at that time, I mean, labels still kind of don't really know what they're doing, but like, I think in 2017, like when they saw something go viral, they were super thirsty, like because they just wanted to be first to it. So that's when you signed, basically just off the
off that video, bro. Nothing else. I had took down all my old music, and I had just a 5-song EP, which was Ignorance. It was only 10 minutes long, and it was just going up, bro. Like I said, the video, everybody's reposting the video, and then people knew about the video, but they didn't know that it was a part of the EP. And when they heard the EP, Capital was blown away. I went in there for a meeting with Priority. This is when Priority was inside of Capital. And then the dude Fuzzy at Priority was like, yo, this is so good. He took me to the CEO, like the main dude at Capital, the president, his name was Ashley or something, day one. Like it was a small meeting and I shot all the way up day one after he just heard this project, and it was like life-changing. And then, like I said, a lot of people knew about the video, and I'll go into these label meetings and then they hear the project and they're like, oh shit, this is something. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what it was. And that's, of course, the label situation of how I got signed. I ended up going with Capital because it was the most freedom. It was a license deal, no 360. I still own all my masters, all my publishing, everything. And it was a lot of money to start off with. You know what I'm saying? Other labels offer way more money, but everything was 360. And I'm like, nah, I want to have full creative control and all that shit. So move how I want to move. And I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, because we put you on, we want to own a piece of your merch or a piece of your shows or a piece of anything. Like, nah, bro, I'm not doing it. So that was like a main thing for me. And when Capital offered that, it was a go. That was a go for me.
So I feel like that kind of answers my question as far as what happened with the deal. Because then with the licensing deal, I actually had a similar deal. It was for a single with an album option with Capital. And our masters were reverted after 6 years. So we have our masters back. They don't own anything, which I thought was great. But, you know, they didn't take the option. So is that kind of what happened with you? It wasn't like a bad blood situation?
Nah, so what happened with me was the person, so Fuzzy is the original person that got me. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Fuzzy, the connector, but Fuzzy is the original person that got me in the door with Capital. But I was sold on No ID. Like, No ID is the reason why I signed to Capital, because he's like, yo, I want to EP your next album. I want to executive produce this shit. And I'm like, yo, he had just came off 444. I'm like, yo, No ID doing, it's over. I'm about to have crazy features. We out the door. And then my A&R ends up leaving and going to management. My product manager ends up going into her own production company. No ID moved into a different space at the label. So it's like everybody that signed me, and the reason why I'm here, I can't work with them, you know? And then they gave me a new product manager. They gave me a new A&R, and No ID's nowhere to be found. Like, granted, I know there was some internal shit where he couldn't do what he really wanted to do with me. So that kind of rubbed me wrong. So I ended up putting out a project through them, which was my Stubborn project. And I also gave them another EP called A Minute of Your Time, but it was like 5 songs that are only a minute long. And after that, the A&R, he wasn't a part of that original push. You know, like that first, when you first hear an artist and you really fall in love with him and you believe in him, he wasn't a part of that. He just came on to me and A&R and me and was like, I kind of want you to move in this direction. And this is when Blueface popped off. I forget, the Shoreline Mafia in LA, all these people popped off. So there's like this is the new sound of LA. Roddy Ricch had just popped off, and they're kind of pushing me towards that. And I'm like, nah. So they even had Murder Beats coming to the studio. I'm like, bro, it's out of here if I get to do what I want to do. But he's producing all LA sounding type shit. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes. I didn't know the power that I had at that time. So I was not kind of standing up for myself. So a bunch of shit got done that I didn't like. And then pandemic happens, top of 2020. I'm still signed to the label. I have a full body of work, which is the Ignorance project. I mean, not Ignorance, Idols, which ends up coming out independent later. But I had this body of work. I'm like, yo, this is some shit. Let's put this out. Everyone's at home. Everyone's not doing nothing. They're just listening to music and watching TV shows. Let's drop some music. And, labels, red tape. Everything with a label is red tape. You can't do this. We can't do that. We can't do this. We can't do that. And I'm like, I talked to my manager. I talked to my lawyer. I'm like, I'm out because the original deal was only a 1 album deal. And I gave them that. I fulfilled my deal. And I was trying to go get that +1, which would have been a 2 album deal and double the advance of what I got at first. And when they were like, we're not releasing this, you can release it on SoundCloud to your fans if you want to. And I'm like, I'm out. So it wasn't they just didn't pick up the option or somebody got dropped. I hit my lawyer, hit my manager and told them I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? There was so many changes at Capitol, like the Ashley, the dude who was the president, he left, and John, I forget his last name, John came in. It was like so much different shit to where my core people who signed me were gone. So it was like, I'm just an artist on this label. There's no one that was there who originally believed in me, So it was like,
yeah, that's always one of the bigger risks when signing to a label, because obviously we've heard that story time and time again of the people that brought you in eventually end up leaving. And I'm not sure if that's something that an artist can put in a contract. Like, hey, obviously you can put anything in a contract if you negotiate it, but like if these core people aren't a part of the team, then you have these options. I don't know if that's something that an artist has ever put into a contract. But the one thing I wanted to ask you is, like, typically what I've seen is that one of the benefits of signing to a label is having a catalog independently that you own that benefits from the additional shine that you're about to get and promotion. But you said that you took all your music down when you signed to a label. Why did you decide to remove everything, like, once you started entertaining a major label offer?
So when I first popped off, so this is before I signed. So when I first popped off and a lot of labels is coming at me, I wanted to focus all the energy around that Armani video and my Ignorance project. So anything before that, y'all don't get to hear it, y'all don't get to see it. And I kind of took the approach, me and my manager decided to take the mysterious approach. Like, who is this dude? What is he doing? Like, why? I took down all my pictures off my Instagram, all that. No one knew who I was. You would have to go to the video to see my face, and only had one video up. So it was like, we're kind of trying to play the mysterious game. Like, who is this artist and what is it about this artist of why he's popping, right? So that's why I did that, to kind of just make everybody focus on this one body of work. Even though it was a small body of work, a 10-minute body of work, the stuff that I was making before that didn't sound anything like that, because before that I was making kind of like singy, Drake-ish type music. But then my brother died. You can't sing about somebody murdering your brother. You feel me? You can't sing about that. So I was angry. I was frustrated. I'm hurt. So I just took that energy and put that on record. And it's like, okay, this is what I'm standing for right now at this moment. I know I still have the capability to make songs like this, but in the future, I'll do that later. But right now, let's focus on this energy. That was the main thing of why I did that.
Got you. So now, like, okay, you get yourself out of that deal. Like, what's the mindset? Like, what's the energy level, the excitement level? Like, what's just kind of the approach going forward?
Originally, no cap, I don't know how many people went through it, but the pandemic sent me into like a spiral of depression, bro. Like, it was just sad. Like, the news scaring you every day. You seeing hundreds of bodies piled up at the hospital. So it was like almost just like heartbreaking, And then we go through the stuff that we're going through this in the summer. It was like fires everywhere. George Floyd had just got killed and all this other stuff. It was like crazy. And then I have a twin bro. He like, yo, either you gonna release this song or I'm gonna release this song. And it was a song called Melanated. It was about just like a pro-black song, proud to be black. And it went up. And I'm like, oh shit, motherfuckers is still tapped in. So I released Melanated, I want to say in June or July of 2020. And then 2020 October, I released my Idols project, and it did extremely well. Like, just from the cover art alone, I don't know if you guys seen that cover art, but it's like all my favorite albums from my favorite artists that are living. I put it all on one cover. So it's like the Drake, Kanye, Kendrick, Cole, and who else? Drake, Kanye, Kendrick, Cole. It was somebody else. I forget who 50 Cent. I put that project together, and immediately, like, it just started getting traction just from that project. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is still moving. I'm still booming. I still have people that's fucking with me and tapping in with me. And after that, I'm like, all right, I'm not stopping. So I did another project called She that made movement. Then I did another project called How Quickly They Forget. And then I noticed a lot of people started to get to where we are today. A lot of people start popping off of singles. And I'm like, I'm a project-based artist. I like putting together the bodies of work. I'm a project-based artist. And then I talked to my shawty. I'm like, yo, I know I'm talented. I know I have a platform. Why do you think I ain't popped off yet? And she's like, you just not consistent enough. And I took that, and I'm like, bet. So what I did, and I hope y'all cut this clip up and show this clip to other artists. What I did was, I made 20 songs, and I'm like, I'm going to drop a single every week. And I shot like 10 or 11 videos at the time. I'm going to drop a video for every single one of these motherfuckers, and I'm not going to stop. I don't care if I'm insecure about the song or I kind of like it. I'm just going to drop every week, nonstop. I don't give a fuck, because one song might pop off this week, another song might be shit the next week because it's going to get the numbers. But then the next week, I got another song coming out next week. You know what I'm saying? That was the mindset. Like, all right, bet. I'm going to just keep going over and over and over and over. And if I get 4 out of 20 songs that pop off, that's a lot of music popping off at the same time. And like, that's where we are now. Like, I just posted that. I started off like that 200,000 monthly listeners came from all the projects that I've been did, the 2017, the 2018, 2019, 2020. Those projects, that's where that original 200 people who was tapped in with me was listening. But now you feed in the algorithm every week, boom, 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 boom. And now it's like, I got like 7-8 songs that are doing 20,000 plays a day or 10,000 plays a day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and right. I'm only just getting started. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to do this shit for 52 weeks for a year straight. I'm not even halfway there. And my goal of this shit was to get 1 million monthly listeners. I thought I'd be at 1 million summertime. I mean, where I'm at in summertime, it's like 1 million is right around the corner. I might hit that shit before the end of February. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, cool. But we're not stopping. The goal is 52 songs in a year. And I thought, it might be hard, it might be challenging, but there's benefits of it. Even if these songs don't pop off, I'm consistently recording, I'm consistently releasing, and I'm consistently getting better. You know, like, I can't let fear dictate what I'm trying to do. I told myself what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it no matter what. You know,
and that's what that's obviously what kind of sparked this conversation, because you responded to a tweet that my man Andres from Genius put out. Because I think he would, and he's a super solid cat, super knowledgeable cat. But I think what he was saying is true for some people. Like, sometimes, people are getting burnt out and people are putting out too much stuff. But I've seen so many people move in different ways. Like, I've seen people move the way you're moving and it be successful. And then I've seen people move like, there's a cat named Anise who's doing really well right now, and his strategy is a bit different in the terms of, like, he definitely spaces out his singles, and he goes super hard, like pre-promoting it before it comes out, like when it comes out, after it comes out. Like, he creates so many visuals around one song. I think he probably only drops like one song every 3 months, but that works for him. I think people just need to find what works for you and your community. But in the beginning, you probably should drop a lot of music, because what you also talked about is like, you just getting better, right? You just getting better, you developing that consistency, that discipline, that side of things is super important as well.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, look, I tell, from a producer's perspective, I tell producers all the time, make beats all the time. So I'm curious to hear your experience just in the recording artist community, because I get backlash for saying, make beats all the time. Even if you don't like them, keep making them, finish them, complete them, drop them. You might hate them. And then it's all like, there's this narrative of quality over quantity. And I feel like the people who really are married to that narrative don't ever release a damn thing because they're chasing perfection. Like, I feel like when I hear someone say quality over quantity, what they're saying is, I'm trying to achieve perfection before I make a move. And what you said was, I'm not going to let fear dictate what I'm trying to do, which is like, I think that's the key. Like every artist hits a ceiling, and it sounds like you would hit a ceiling. And that mantra of, I'm not going to let fear dictate what I'm trying to do, broke through that ceiling.
Right. So what really helped me, so of course my girl's saying that, the consistent thing, and then I'm in therapy, bro. I'm a real big advocate for therapy. So I talked to my therapist about this idea, and he said, you can't be judge, jury, and executioner for your own music, right? So you can't try to execute the music and then judge it and then determine if it comes out or not. Make a goal, set a goal, and put the fucking music out, right? Because us as people, we think we know what's hot all the time. Like every artist has a story of, I thought this song was gonna go and it doesn't. Or you have a song like, I didn't think that one was gonna go and it goes. So it's like, you don't know. We don't know. Like even now in today's time, like the Lil Yachty song, I Took the Walk to Poland, he was like, yo, I was just fucking joking. And the shit went crazy. So it's like certain things I think about, even when Drake dropped So Far Gone, he was like, I didn't like my verses on Successful. I didn't like the way my voice sounded. But I remember what that song did for me. I mean, he didn't even really fuck with the record, but it's like, I know what that did for me. And that changed the way, like, that was my mantra when I was in like high school and shit. Like, yo, this song is powerful. I love this Drake record. But to know that he even struggled with them, I'm not really feeling the verses. I'm not really feeling the style. That means that, all right, cool. You have an idea of what you think is dope, but you still power through it and you put it out anyway. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just like, yo, some of the shit I think, like one of my second biggest song I put out recently is called Good Wine. I'll be honest, it's not one of my favorites for me, right? It's not one of my favorites, but it's just getting playlisted after playlisted after playlist. People sharing it, people posting it on their stories. I really love these songs. I got friends that's like sending me text messages, bro, I really love this record. It's like, it ain't up to me. Yeah. Once you put the music out, it ain't up to me. You know?
What I tell artists is like, just do a risk benefit analysis. Like what's the worst thing that could happen if you put out a song that doesn't get traction, right? Like the worst thing that happens is people forget about it and you move on to the next one, right? But what's the best thing that could happen? The best thing that could happen is it could change your life. Like the best thing that can happen is it could change your life, either because people really rock with it and the views run up, or we just had another cat on last week, Bari, where his song only got like 15, 20 streams, but the person who heard it changed his life.
I've seen that.
Yeah. The person who heard it changed his life. So worst case scenario, people forget about it. You're on to the next one. Best case scenario, life changing. And every option and there's obviously a ton of things that can happen in between. So why not just keep shooting your shots?
I think we are in such a different time, and a lot of people who are our examples, like I said, the artists that I mentioned, or even like if you're a singer, the Beyoncés or the Nicki Minaj's or whatever you're doing, they have the platform to disappear for 4 years, 5 years, and then come back. And people think I need to be like Beyonce and do what she's doing or do it how she did it. But you don't got 30 writers behind you, bro. You don't got a whole marketing team behind you, bro. You don't got the status from the 90s, the early 2000s, the 10s, and we in the 20s. You don't got that status, so you don't have that luxury to disappear. Right. And a lot of artists, like I said, I got hella artist friends, and a lot of times you said like they want to make this perfect thing, so they make this perfect body of work and this perfect project or this perfect EP. You only get to pitch one of those songs for playlisting. So this EP perfect, track 1 through 3 might be the best tracks you ever made in your life. You can only pitch one if it's an EP. You get what I'm saying? But if you drop, you separate that project you're doing every 2 weeks or every couple weeks, you get to pitch those songs every week. You know what I'm saying? One might not get picked up by Spotify, but the second song might get picked up, or the third song might be picked up. But if you do it as a project, you can only pitch one. So it's like, when I started thinking about that, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to just stay consistent and like, you only gonna get better. And I don't really feel like it's a downside other than a scratch at your ego, right? It's if you put a song out and no one listens to it, it's only hurting your ego. You got to get your ego in check, because if you don't put it out, no one's listening to it, right? It's the same thing. But it's like, to see that 0 on your Spotify, 0 people listening right now, or 0 streams, that's a stroke. That's a scratch at your ego. Like, damn, I'm not tight. But it's not about that. It's not about egos and pride and all that shit. It's like, yo, I'm trying to really do this shit, and I can't let fear or ego or pride get in the way of where I'm trying to go. I'm really trying to go in this direction, and I'm gonna do what I got to do to get there.
Right. Go ahead, Payne. My bad.
Yeah, I have a topic to talk about that kind of dovetails off of that. You posted a tweet that says, "This shit ain't really that hard. I shoot all my videos on iPhone and I record on a $300 mic in my bedroom. No major studios or big video productions, just consistency and hard work." Now, there was a comment, and I love your response to it, is by someone named Trayvon, who says, "What about promo?" And your response was, "What promo?" I think there's this myth. I know there's this myth in the music business among especially recording artists, especially rappers, that you need money, you need to invest in marketing, you need to invest in promo, and just do that all the time. And that's the way to get fans. That's the way to find success. My thing is, like, I don't think anyone builds fans off of promo campaigns, especially not in this era. Yeah. It's like you can't promo service your way to fans.
Right.
And so when someone says what, or when you say what promo, that flies in the face of the narrative in a really kind of shocking way to a lot of people. So what is your stance on, because I want to talk about promo, because we had a convo earlier, Dame, me, you, and Aaron, about some weird shit going on with promo, which I'd like your opinion on as well, Katori. But in terms of just promo and marketing, where does that even fit in 2023?
Well, I don't know. Go ahead. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, Payne. There are definitely promotional tactics that work and help put fuel on the fire, for sure. Matter of fact, with my conversation with Coda the friend, one of the promo tactics he used, obviously the videos and the music consistently was what got his traction, but he used a paid promo strategy in which he would find Instagram pages that had a similar demo, and he would try to cut deals with them to post his videos. I mean, and it helped because his videos were dope. They would probably post them anyway, but he was able to cut deals with them. And he felt like that was something that helped put fuel on the fire. So I think he's very strategic about it. You know, he found pages with the same demo. You could definitely put fuel on the fire with certain promotional strategies. So I don't think you meant that, like.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I meant, well, I'm going to explain what I mean when I jump to that topic. But absolutely, I think under the promo umbrella falls stuff like consistency, stuff like releasing music, stuff like partnerships and collaborations, and even paid ads, paid influencer partnerships, that kind of thing.
Got you. So, Katori, for you, when you put stuff out, you know, obviously the video is promo for the music, but like, you know, do you have a budget? What is your strategy or approach? Do you have an email list, text marketing list? Like, how do you kind of jumpstart or put fuel on the fire for what you're doing?
I don't have a budget. Like, he just read the tweet where I said I shoot the videos myself. I don't know if y'all been on my Instagram page, but my girl that's in the bathroom is the one holding the camera, bro. My kids be hard while I'm shooting this video, you know? So I realized that when I was signed to Capitol and they blowing $50,000 for a video or $75,000 for a video, and it's like, yo, bro, what the fuck is y'all doing? Now, to take it back to what Coda has said, in 2018, I was doing promo similar to that. So I think it was like $2,500 or $3,000 to get on World Star, right? Jeez. So I had told Capital, like, yo, I'll put my own money for it if I have to, because I just got paid from them. I'm like, yo, I'll put my own money for it if I need to, but I want to be on World Star every day for a week straight. Because that's my main thing has always been kind of staying in people's faces, but I would do it in different ways all the time. So I noticed that after the Armani video, it had natural like promo. Everybody posting it on the Instagram and all this other stuff, but I can't just hit up Lloyd Banks like, yo, post this on your page again. I can't do that. Can't hit Jack and say, yo, post this again one time, my guy. No, right? So I did go to World Star and I posted a video every day for a week straight. And that worked time being, right? But now anyone can get a sponsorship from World Star. Anyone can get a sponsorship from Rap TV and all that stuff. So it waters it down and it doesn't make it valuable. And I'm not, you had to put the sponsored thing in the text, but at first it's just like, look like a natural thing. We're supporting Katori Walker and da-da-da-da. So it looks real. But one thing that I noticed, as soon as I see sponsored or promotion, I'm scrolling. I don't want to see that. So you're not selling me on shit, right? I want to see what's natural. I want to see what's really bubbling, right? So I took that. Like, I ain't done no paid promotion since like 2018. Everything else is just all not an Instagram ad, not a Facebook ad, nothing. Everything has just been all natural in the sense of just being consistent and speaking to the fans. Like, I think a lot of times artists forget that y'all heard the theory of 1,000 fans, right? You know the theory? Yeah. So I remember that, and it's like you only need 1,000 people to make $100,000 a year off your fans, 1,000 dedicated fans. So I'm like, if I got 1,000 people that's really rocking with me and I keep feeding them, they'll stay with me forever. So when I do a merch drop, they're gonna buy that $30 t-shirt or $40 hat or whatever the case may be, and I can really make a career off of that. So it's never been, I'm trying to go global and blow up and have hundreds of millions of fans. I'm trying to feed this core group of people that's fucking with me, and it don't take that much. It could take a couple tweets, it can take a couple Instagram posts, and I'm feeding these people. Because when I went to World Star, bro, I got like 40,000 followers in like a week. And then 2 months later, those 40,000 were gone because they were only there for the hype. They didn't really fuck with me. Oh, this dude is on World Star. I think it's dope at this moment because everyone else thinks it's dope, but you ain't a core fan. If I drop a t-shirt, you ain't buying shit, right? So it's like, that don't work long term for me. Right. It didn't work long term for me. Yeah, it got a little buzz at the moment, people talking about it, but you can't do that now. Like, World Star don't even come up in my algorithm no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even see no big pages in my algorithm no more. So it's like, that let's keep it about the music. That's the music is the promo. Like that's what I wanted to say earlier, is a lot of this era right now is content, right? I just tweeted the other day, your music is the content. A lot of people forget that your music is the content. They like, I gotta do all this other stuff. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed, like a lot of artists are kind of tapping into teaching other artists how to market their music, but your music's not popping. You can't teach nobody if your music ain't popping, bro. Right. So it's like, don't forget that you're a musician, bro. You're not a marketer. You're a musician. You know what I'm saying? You can have pieces of marketing within you, but you're a musician and focus on the music. And that's just what I do. I don't do anything else. And I stopped doing videos too, because I was doing videos for every song at first. And I stopped doing videos because I noticed that people would listen to the music on Instagram and not go to Spotify. My clicks start dropping, right? So now I'm still gonna do some videos, but I'm not gonna do one for every song. Now I post the cover art, or I post a little small clip of the song and the link, and everyone wants to hear the rest of the song. Because if I post the whole song on Instagram, no one's gonna go to Spotify or Apple Music. I heard it already. I did my job. I listened to you for the day. You know what I'm saying? I did my job, but when I just give them a piece and send them to somewhere else, I feel like the click and inversion rate is way different because they ain't heard the rest of the song, you know? Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, so, I rock with the 1,000 fan theory, but here's my issue with it, right? You know, if you're, and not saying that you're only, not saying this is you, right? I know that you're not just servicing 1,000 people, but just the theory in and of itself, like you only need 1,000 fans, right? If you have 1,000 people that'll spend 100, right? Mm-hmm. If you have 1,000 people that'll spend 100, you have to assume that there's a lot of people that will spend 90 or spend 80 or just don't have the money to spend 70 or 60. My thing is, if you have 1,000 people that will spend 100, create experiences for them that are valued at 100 so you can capture that value. But I think you should also provide experiences for the people that are at 90 and the people that are 80 and the people at 70 and 60, 50, all the way down to, people that will just stream your music. Because if you have 1,000 people that will spend 100, you can make a lot more than $100,000 if you provide those experiences for everybody else under the demand curve.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But my thinking is I feel like a lot of artists want to please everybody. That's the way I took the theory of 1,000 fans, is not only trying to service 1,000 people. No, the idea of, if I do what I do and what I feel and don't try to appeal, I'm not finna jump in and make some trap shit because that's what's hot right now. I'm not finna jump in and make some what's the drill shit. I'm not finna do that to appeal to the masses right now, or come up with some dance craze or some shit like that. No disrespect to artists that are doing that, but I'm not gonna do that to appeal to everybody because I'm gonna lose my main body. You know what I'm saying? That's what I took it as. So, and it's working. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect, like I said, I didn't expect it to be this well, this fast, but it's working. I'm doing something right by just staying locked in what I'm trying to do and not switching up and trying to go in this lane or that lane or this lane or that lane. And I think a lot of people, when they're like, yo, I want to be a worldwide artist, they think they have to appeal to the masses and do this great thing. But a lot of the artists that we love are a specific type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of, especially in the hip hop space, like if you're a pop artist, you can kind of make anything. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that like country was, before trap took over, country was like one of the biggest like music genres in the world. It's one thing. It's not this way crazy thing. It's this one idea and this one sound and it's these couple of different instruments and people love it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to jump and do some crazy shit. That was what I meant by a theory of 1,000.
For sure. No, I was addressing how a lot of people view that theory, or the way I see it positioned or presented on social media is, all you need is 1,000. Like if you got 1,000 fans that'll spend 100, you got a lot more fans that will spend, 10, 20, 30, 40, and you should be capturing those folks as well. We have a lot of producers that watch this podcast, and you putting out so much music. Are you producing your own beats, or how are you working things out with producers?
So I got a couple of like homie producers that like produce my shit that I talk to personally, and they'll send me beat ideas and we'll go like that. A lot of this shit, like 50% of these songs is BeatStars and YouTube, bro. Like for real, like go on there and buy the license, the unlimited license, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, and if one of these songs that I bought the unlimited license kind of go crazy and we doing stupid numbers, 50 million, stuff, all right, producer, let's talk and let's figure out, you know what I'm saying, the logistics of it, because now it's some money on the table. But if I got a couple songs that got 1 million, 2 million, I paid you already, bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yo, this song just took off. Let's get your lawyer, get my lawyer, and we're going to figure out how to do this right on paper and the publishing and all this other shit. But for now, I feel like a lot of artists want to figure out all these little things. And it's like, yo, make the music. That's just been my mindset. And of course, like if you're the homie, we done already figured that shit out. We already squared that shit away. But for the most part, yes, homies and BeatStars and YouTube.
I honestly talk a lot of rappers out of getting exclusives because, number one, I don't think they're intentionally lowballing. They're like, yo, I'll give you $400 for this beat that's generated 5,000 already. I'm like, that's not worth it to me. But what would make sense is, get the unlimited. Then you can do whatever you want with it. If the song blows up, then come back to the table. We'll have a conversation about it. But in the meantime, why spend that extra money when you could be investing that extra money in more beats and music videos and, whatever, photo shoots, stuff that's actually valuable to you? There is this anti-leasing sentiment among a lot of recording artists, which I don't understand. So I'm glad that you said that's what you do. I mean, there are like millions of beats released every day. You know what I mean? It's not like every rapper is fighting over the same 10 beats on YouTube.
Right.
Katori, I got a question for you. Growing up in the Valley, the cats that got busted in from LA would always remind me that this is not LA. Right. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how it is like Pasadena is still LA County. But do you feel to me you're an LA artist, or Southern Cali artist, but like do you feel a part of LA, or what was the dynamic between like Pasadena and like inner city LA growing up, and how they looked at Pasadena artists?
Pasadena had its own thing. It had its own melting pot to me. Like growing up, like I said, my dad was a producer. Well, is a producer and a DJ. So I heard all local artists, everybody from Pasadena. So it had a whole different sound. So the artists I grew up listening to was underground artists that hadn't popped off yet. So to me, it is a big difference. I actually tweeted that too. I said, I'm from Pasadena, not LA. It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you being from the Valley, yes, LA County, but it's not LA. LA is a whole different thing. It's a whole different monster within itself. And I feel like for me, that's a goal of mine too, is kind of making Pasadena known, because a lot of times I do interview or I'll do a podcast and they're like, oh, Katori Walker from Los Angeles. Like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't going to say Kendrick Lamar from Los Angeles. You're going to say Kendrick Lamar from Compton. You ain't going to say Snoop Dogg from Los Angeles. You're going to say Snoop Dogg from Long Beach. You get what I'm saying? Like, so why doesn't Pasadena get that same stamp of approval? Oh, because ain't nobody did it yet. All right, bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. It's like, yeah, we all are a part of LA, but these small inner cities and these small pockets have different cultures and different lanes and different energies. Yeah, we have a big chunk of the same energy, the same culture, but it's not the same. It's
right. Not. Who is the biggest artist to come out of Pasadena?
You're looking at him.
There you go.
But I think John B was from Pasadena.
Really?
Yeah, the artist John. Don't listen to.
There you go. Yeah, my lookalike. My celebrity lookalike.
Yeah, he's from Pasadena. So
I had no idea. I had no idea that cat was from. I had no idea he was even from California. I don't know. I mean, yeah, nah. So what's next, man? I mean, obviously you're gonna continue.
We're trying to put this on the map for sure.
I think we've got a slight delay. Are we good now? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously you're going to continue with the consistency, complete your 52 weeks of songs, weekly drops. What else is on the plan, or what else are you hoping to accomplish this year?
3 weeks. I'm doing my first, I did a show before, my show overseas. I'm going to Sweden to do a show February 19th. Well, the show's the 24th, but I'll be out there the 19th or the 25th. So that's the first thing that I'm doing. So that's like a big thing for me. Like, yeah, I'm out the country with it. You feel me? Okay. So I'm doing that show. And then the plan is to keep at the end of this, I'm going to do a whole body of work. And then after that, I'm going to do my first, like, not local tour, but taking all the analytics. I got a company that I'm about to partner with, where I'm partnering with to get all my analytics and see what cities are the hottest cities for me, so I can start doing 200, 300 room shows and just move around the nation. That's the goal for me, because like I said, I've been on 2 different tours before, and it was a fun thing, but it wasn't mine. So I want to headline it, have a couple of the homies open up with me. So that's the goal. So when all of this is said and done, release a full body of work. When I got a bigger platform, because I feel like with a million monthly listeners, you got people listening, like that was the goal. So, so project and tour, and yeah, man, like, and just stay consistent until then. That's the goal for me.
Are you open to sharing the name of the company that's helping you, or is that?
Yeah, I can tell you right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm sure somebody will be in the comments asking that question.
All right, hold on. So it is. I just had a meeting with yesterday. The name of the company is. I'm trying to go through these emails because the shit was fucking crazy. Remember, I told you I got like so many emails. What's the name?
So we were talking before we started the podcast just about how the tweet that I responded to and reached out to him about this podcast, he has a lot of people that reached out to him because he responded. I think you put a screenshot. Did you put a screenshot of your monthly listeners from 200,000 to 800,000?
Yeah.
So when he responded to the tweet from Andres that said, I think it says something like, don't quote me, but, I think he was asking the question, are artists putting out too much music or something like that? but Katori obviously responded, and so you saw him kind of go from 200,000 to 800,000. So I think he got a lot of people hitting him up, to jump on their podcast or to work with him, because I think, once artists especially producers, Payne, you can speak to this. Like if an artist posts a very real screenshot of like their monthly listeners that they're getting to it, I think producers will probably hit them up because they want to work with the people that are moving. They want to work with the people that have a lot of monthly listeners. So it's not surprising that, his inbox got flooded once he responded to that tweet.
Yeah. So the name of the company is Planet, and it's this company that takes your analytics from all the platforms that you use, and you would kind of send your fans to this app that will end up being in their Apple Wallet, right? In the Apple Wallet, and it's almost like the idea past text messaging and past email marketing. When you have something, I'm releasing a song, I'm releasing a merch, it'll pop up in your Google Wallet or your Apple Wallet. So you would sign up. This is my favorite song from Katori. This is the city that I'm from. So when I'm on tour and I'm dropping a merch specifically for Toronto, Canada, it's only gonna hit up the fans that's in Toronto, Canada. That makes sense?
Right. It's gonna alert them in their Apple Wallet.
In their Apple Wallet, not a text message, not an email, in their actual wallet. So what you do, like I said, you sign up, put your information in. Now, I haven't released this to the fans yet, but you sign up, you put your information in, and anything that's in your region, or I can do it globally, it will hit you up and let you know what's going on. So if I have an intimate show that's 45 people and I'm in some small city in Connecticut, I don't know, it would only hit up those people that are from there. That makes sense? But if I want to go, like, all right, I'm dropping this album that I've been working on for the last year, it's going to hit up everybody and let them know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and it's not a thing that, like I said, text messages work great, but once you see that, like I said, a lot of people see that as promo, and they just won't look at it. A lot of people see an email, you scroll right past it or just delete the fucking email. But when it's in your wallet, you have to be a real hardcore fan to fill this whole thing out and then download a thing that's in your wallet for Katori Walker specifically. That's wow. You only, in your Apple Wallet, you probably got a couple cards, a couple passes from a couple shows that you went to, and that's it. But you got a thing in your wallet specifically dedicated to Katori.
That's a fan. That's definitely a super fan.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm gonna do this tour. Once I get done releasing these 52 weeks, and then the project after that, that's the way I'm gonna do it, is just do that. Of course, you're gonna post on social media for the people who are catching up late to the party and all the other shit. Before the main course of it is gonna be direct to consumer. I don't have to worry about the algorithm shutting down like if you post a cover art on the algorithm, oh my God, you're getting 2 likes. Like if you post what's it called? A flyer on the algorithm on Instagram or Twitter, you're getting 2 people that
flyers.
Look at it. That's
flyers, once it detects all the writing on there and then it's super promotional, it's definitely going to kill the reach. That's why, I work with a lot of comedians, so they've gotten a lot more sophisticated around promoting their shows. They'll just, put out their regular content and put the promo at the end, so that people stay engaged, and then get the news of the show afterwards. But you got to get more creative these days.
Yeah. And you got to use tricks too. Like if you post video content, they won't detect the link in the descriptions. I shouldn't say all that because now everyone's going to try to do that and they're going to catch it. But yeah, there are some sneaky little ways, or like, well, I'm not going to give away the other trick. Fuck it. But yeah.
Payne, you're supposed to give away the tricks, man. That's what the podcast is for. You're supposed to give away the tricks.
I gave away one. I'm not giving away
the first one. I didn't hear the first one. You're going to have to send me an email of all the tricks. I need to know them, yo.
I'll email you both tricks that I use that have actually 3 tricks that I use.
Okay.
It's just like it's finding a way to deliver a link to somebody without the site catching the link. You know what I mean? And like, whether that means you got to find a way to get them to comment or reply to something in order for you to get the link, but they do it all within the same social media platform. So it's not like you have to take them through an extra step. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I think people can figure that out.
For sure. Yeah. All right, man. Well, this was a dope convo. Payne, you got any more questions, or are we wrapping it up?
Oh, I just need the email. I'm gonna send you a Dropbox. hopefully today.
I don't think he wants to. You want to put your email?
No. Like
right
after this, like no, not live, not live. You can put it in the chat.
For sure. All right, we can wrap it up, Payne.
Yeah. Once again, we appreciate you, Katori. Thank you. Shout out to everyone that is listening, and I think I think MEC is making an impact when we really appreciate the feedback from people, especially on some of the more recent episodes that we've dropped. So thank you for that. I know Aaron has expressed this before, and we'll all continue to express that gratitude, but we appreciate that. It's good to see the feedback. It's good to see the growth, not just here with what we're doing, because we're just doing what we do, but from the people that actually consume it, because that's the whole point of why we do this every single week. So thank you for that. And we'll be back same time, same place on the MEC podcast. Peace.
Peace.